This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Peninsula Regional Medical Center.
Well, what started out as a diet for people with a specific disease has turned into a dieting fad. More people are going gluten-free, and food marketers are catching on. You can find more gluten-free products on store shelves these days. Even restaurants are offering gluten-free menus. So what's the big deal with gluten? PRMC dietitian Tamara Giles joins us in the Delmarva Life Kitchen with the scoop on gluten. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. First of all, what is gluten?
Gluten is a form of protein that's found in wheat, rye, and barley. So it's one of the things that gives bread its yummy structures that you can pull apart and have nice little pieces.
Like the elasticity
yes.
it has. So, and it's not just bread. There are other products you wouldn't even imagine that have gluten in them.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, like, one of the things that people forget about, they see the obvious things like bread and pasta, but they don't realize things like communion wafers, soy sauce, Twizzlers. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that have wheat that you have to avoid if you can't have it.
Right, yeah, communion wafers, imitation crab meat, never even would have thought of that. All right, so gluten is said to cause celiac disease. I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. What's celiac disease?
Okay. Celiac disease is a genetic autoimmune disorder. So the characterizing factor in that disease is that the body's unable to digest gluten. So if someone with celiac disease has wheat, their body starts attacking its own intestine cells, which can lead to all sorts of damage. The symptoms, though, not only can they play out inside the GI tract, but they can also show up on their skin or cause neurological problems. So it's not just a digestive disorder.
Wow, that's interesting. Now, aside from people who have celiac disease, is there any benefit to other people to go with a gluten-free diet?
If you have if you're gluten intolerant or sensitive, or if you have a wheat allergy. But the key thing is that if you suspect that you have celiac disease or just that you have trouble digesting gluten for some reason, you don't want to switch your diet without your doctor's approval. For the testing, if you change your diet first and your body has some recovery time, you can get a false negative test result. But if you're a normal person who has no problems digesting it, there's no benefit to you switching to a completely gluten-free diet. For some people that have tried it, if you try things like some of the different grains that we have over here, like the quinoa or the kasha or the millet, those whole grains have a lot of more fiber and protein than something like your regular white pasta.
Right.
So although you don't have to be gluten-free, you can still include those in your diet and see some benefit.
Right, right. But it's not a weight loss diet.
No.
Necessarily.
Oh no, in fact, if you were to switch from the standard American diet, so let's just say that you were to switch from your white bread and your pasta and your shredded wheat over there to gluten-free cereal and gluten-free white bread and white rice pasta and baked goods, you could actually gain weight because those products may have more fat and sugar to help make them taste better.
I've heard even Oreos are gluten-free. Okay, so you brought a recipe. What are we going to make? This is real quick.
I was going to say we're going to make like warm and nutty quinoa, so it's just a different hot cereal rather than oatmeal, but it's just a nice breakfast option.
Right, and what are our ingredients?
Okay, so quinoa is one of the grains that we're talking about. The key warning there is that I bought quinoa that's already pre-rinsed. If it's not pre-rinsed, it has a coating that can taste kind of bitter.
Okay, and then we also have the nuts, the berries, and
yep, we have pecans and raspberries.
All right,
cinnamon.
so the first thing, let's go ahead and start cooking. First thing we're going to do is what?
I was going to say, if you could toss the water and milk and quinoa straight in, but you could also toast the quinoa if you wanted to.
Okay, so we're just going to go ahead for TV purposes, toss the cup of water, cup of milk, the quinoa, how do you say it?
Quinoa.
Quinoa in there. All right.
Just give that a little shake
Give
so
it
it's
a
more
little shake.
even.
Yeah, we can always grab a spoon back here as well. Give it a little spoon. Okay, and how long do we cook that?
I was going to say just bring it to a boil, and then we're going to cover it for 15 minutes on low. So close to cooking, so very close to cooking rice.
All right, and there are several ways you can get the shopping list and instructions on how to make this. You can, of course, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to 1729 North Salisbury Boulevard, Salisbury, Maryland, 21801, or you can go online, delmarvalife.com, or give us a call. The number there is on your screen, 410 or 443-880-9116. And through the magic of television, of course, we have it all done here. This looks really good, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a quick taste here if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
I love berries. Very good, very fruity, very good indeed. Thank you so much, Tamara, for joining us today. A lot of good information. Of course, we'll have that information on our website. Well, still to come, going green from a more fuel-efficient vehicle to cleaner fuel that goes into the car. Believe it or not, this is causing controversy. WBOC's Bill Mitch takes a look at this issue tonight on WBOC News at 11. He stops by to tell us more. That is next.